Good evening to you. In business news at this hour, hiring activity has dropped by -10% on a month and annual level. The latest PNet job market trends report has revealed that recruitment has continued to slow down between November 2022 and the same period last year. However, an increase in demand for work has been reported in some industries, including IT, mechanical engineering, graphic design and office administration. The medical field, architecture, as well as the design and arts sectors have also been cited as positive intake industries. Head of Data Insights and Customer Success at PNet, Byrne, speaks to us now. Thank you so much for your time, Paul. In a new year, let's first unpack why there's been this consistent decline between 2022 and 2024. What exactly does it say about the country's labor landscape and why the narrative is not changing?
Tumi Sanga, thank you very much, first of all. And that's such an important question that you're asking. And if we look back at 2024, it actually was quite an unusual year. If you think about all the major events that were taking place, not only in South Africa, but globally too, insofar as elections are concerned. And very importantly, our own election here in May, then the formation of the GNU in the month of June, that unsettled the job market quite substantially. But even prior to that, and sort of the lead up to the beginning of the year, so this time last year, January, February, March, we kind of were suffering what I call the hangover of the effects of, at that stage, higher interest rates. We had load shedding, there was lower business confidence, and that definitely took the job market down at that time of the year. There was a bounce back sort of April to March, April, but again, because of the elections, the formation of the GNU, things dropped again through May and June. But then there were slivers of hope that came up again as the numbers came through in terms of the positive territory. But unfortunately, as you've just reported in November, those numbers were down. That said, there's a sense of things that are changing at the moment, and I think all the indicators are quite positive in terms of where we know we need to go to really kickstart the jobs economy again. Interest rates are down. Obviously, load shedding has been up until some recent announcements, sort of something of the past. And business confidence definitely seems to be picking up once again. And with that then comes consumer spending. And as soon as that injection of consumer spending comes into the market, I feel that we'll start to see the jobs economy start to grow again. So it's going to be an interesting year as we sort of put last year behind us and then focus on the positives of what actually happens as we start this new fresh year.
Let's stay on the positive then, Paul. Now that the metric class of 2024 has received their results, it's important that we highlight industries that are showing high intake.
Very much so. And I think it's such an important time of the year because not only have we got the matric class that's now just graduated, but you've actually got the graduates that are coming into first-time jobs. And let's not forget professionals too that generally take time over the summer holidays here in South Africa to reflect on their career and where they're going and what it is that they want to achieve over the upcoming years. So there's a lot of activity that actually happens at this time of the year. So what we've done in terms of this latest jobs report that we've got, we've added in a special sort of inside section just to have a look at what jobs are those that are most in demand, and we've broken it down into 11 different job sectors, and then beneath that the actual job roles that we can see are just consistently have got opportunities advertised for those roles. And then we've looked at the very critical components of saying what type of competition is there within those jobs. In other words, am I one of 10 other potential job seekers, or am I one of 1,000 other job seekers? And that competition really speaks to supply and demand. And then we've looked at experience as well in terms of what companies typically are advertising that they're looking for in terms of saying, right, they want someone with moderate experience, medium experience, high experience, or in some cases low experience levels. And low experience doesn't mean necessarily that they haven't got the skills. These job seekers need to still be able to bring those skills to the table, but it's just how many years, generally speaking, they need to hone those skills. So when you're talking about low experience, it's just for 1 to 3 years of getting into the job market and really coming to terms with those skills. And what we've seen across the different sectors, we're looking at business and management, for example, and again, bringing it back to the matrix, things like the job roles like staff recruitment and selection generally require low experience level, but there is a moderate talent pool. So there's a bit of competition that's out there in the market, but it is one of those roles that a lot of matrix will be looking for. Infrastructure and operations consulting is another one within the business and management job sector. But then we get into sales, and I've said numerous times on air before about the importance of sales in our economy. That's what drives growth. And all organizations are consistently looking for new salespeople to come into the fold and really take the products and services that those companies are producing out to market. So I think that's a major opportunity for the matriculants that are coming out into the market and looking for potential careers. And again, there's a low experience level that's required within that space, and a moderate talent pool that's available. And so we can go on through sort of finance, bookkeeping roles, accounts payable roles, all that require low experience, again, with some skills. Systems and network administration within information technology is another one for those people that want to go down that IT route. And then very importantly, within the admin office and support space, which is where we see so much of our recruitment happening in South Africa, there's generally quite a low experience level requirement to actually get into those roles. However, that needs to be overlaid with the fact that it's generally an oversaturated talent pool that a job seeker would be competing against. So again, when I'm looking at that competition level that I was talking about, there are a lot of people looking for those admin office secretarial type roles. So job seekers need to be very mindful of that. And I'd actually, if you don't mind, sort of direct people through to the PNet website to actually go and download that this report so they can see for themselves what we're saying in terms of that difference between competition and experience and get more of the detail.
Absolutely fascinating. And as a parting shot, what then does this tell us about jobs of the future? With the current cohort, they would be looking for trends that in a field of study would guarantee you a job in this country where the unemployment rate unfortunately remains high.
Yeah, again, a very important question. And I think you're going back to the guaranteeing of a job is always very difficult. But what we're seeing in terms of sort of the future jobs, engineering is coming up massively in terms of jobs of the future, in terms of green energy and renewable energy, all that kind of those skills, and the robotics and the incorporation of AI and mechatronics and all of those careers that are really growing rapidly would be wrapped up into engineering. Without a doubt, I still mention sales. I think healthcare is a big place, and specifically within healthcare, you've already mentioned that we've seen significant growth happening within healthcare over the month of November. But actually, to me, saying that's carried on through the whole of last year. And specifically, we can see massive demand for pharmacists and in particular nurses. And I make mention of the fact that nurses are there because, again, low experience level required, and there's a limited talent pool of nurses. So that people are looking to get into one of the age-old traditions of healthcare, nursing would be a really good place to start. And I know that we are desperately short of nurses here in South Africa.
Thank you, as always, for your contribution. That is Paul Byrne talking us through the latest PNet Jobs Trend Market Report.